Good morning. I'm Jackie Taggart-Boyd, National Manager of Diversity Sales for Cincinnati, USA Convention and Visitors Bureau. How are you? So, listen, I want to be transparent with you. Um, I have been I found out I was giving this presentation about a week ago today. And soon thereafter, I began to have just generalized anxiety. I'm sure that many of you have experienced this and know what I'm referring to. Just general anxiety. And my brain works in a way that that tries to avoid unhappiness in any way, right? So, like, my brain works so that when something bad happens, like I think about it for a second and then I reroute. Like, it reroutes the signal and sends me something to say is positive that happened from it, right? So, just to give you an example, at the beginning of this pandemic, my son was a senior in high school, and we thought, that this wasn't going to be that big of a deal, right? But it's short circuited his swim season. So I found out that he wasn't, they weren't going to swim this big national swim meet that my son worked hard to prepare for, and they weren't going to have the meet. And that was crushing blow for him. It was devastating. If your kid's devastated, you're devastated. So I was devastated for a minute. But my brain, the way it worked, is like, okay, well, great. At least we got his senior swim season in for high school. The YMCA swim season. We'll just do the summer season. Long course, so that's fine. And what we can do is we can go to baseball earlier. Usually, when we get to baseball, it's 2 days before the first game, and then he won't have to miss that week of school to go to nationals. It's all good, right? It's all good. And so I went straight to focusing on baseball, and I was fine. Then baseball season got postponed. Yeah, it's just postponed. Good thing they didn't cancel it. Next thing you know, baseball season's canceled, right? So, but that's how my brain works, right? So when I found out I was giving this presentation, I was going to be graced and honored with the opportunity to speak with you today about Cincinnati, USA. I was like, awesome, right? Like, who gets this opportunity? I'm so fortunate. I'm so blessed, right? Like, I didn't even ask, and boom, it's right there, just fell in my lap because, God is so good. And then I started having this anxiety, and I had no idea what the anxiety was for. Like, why am I having anxiety? Because my life is fine. There's nothing going on, everything's, of course, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. Duh. We're in the middle of a very contentious political season. Duh. But like, nothing extraordinary. Why am I anxious? And then at 7:29 on Friday, after really struggling for like 2 days, I was finally alone and quiet. And I said, let me start working on this presentation. And then the tears came. And I realized that this anxiety was grief. It was grief. And I was anxious and concerned because I hadn't dealt with like the unresolved grief that I am experiencing over the loss of what I love to do. Hospitality is what I love. And this 7 months, while I have not been unhappy, I have, as a matter of fact, have had some times of absolute joy in this time that I never would have been able to spend with my son, who was a senior and has gone off to college. But I spent so much time with him during this lockdown that I never would have had otherwise. No sports, no school, no work, no nothing, right? Nothing to interfere with the time. It was like compacted time that I had with my son. So it wasn't horrible. I'm not complaining. It wasn't horrible. And I pray and I hope that all of you have had an opportunity to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily have done, and to love someone a little bit harder than you ordinarily would have. I hope that the loss is not insurmountable. And so as I contemplated what I wanted to talk to you all about, how upbeat my presentation was going to be, and how amazing I was going to make Cincinnati sound for you, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because my heart hurts. My heart hurts because I can only imagine your losses. I can only imagine the stress. And I'm sorry. So, my presentation today, what's left of it, what's left of it, I'm hopeful will be abbreviated. So, let's see. There's 3 things I wanted to be. I wanted to be brief. I wanted to be sincere. And then I wanted to get out of your hair. That's 3 things that I want to do. I want to be brief. I want to be sincere. And then I want to check off that box, right? So here's what I have for you. Cincinnati, USA. We are awesome. Like, Cincinnati is a pretty damn awesome place, right? But what I want to talk about Cincinnati today isn't what I would have talked about Cincinnati 8 months ago. 8 months ago, I would have been telling you about our entertainment districts and how much beer you can drink and bourbon you can have, and all the unique meeting spaces and the music I would be telling you, I would be selling you Cincinnati, right? And all that stuff's still here. It's all still here. But what I want to talk to you today is about the Cincinnati that will solve or help you solve some of the impediments, some of the problems that we have today, and and give you some of the opportunities for tomorrow. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think that our industry cannot die. It cannot die. And we're going to come back. And it's just a matter of when and how. But I think that rather than everything all being better at one time, I think what's going to happen is things are going to come back gradually. And the first thing that people are going to start, well, and they've already started. You saw what happened over the summer, right? People took driving trips because they felt safe in their car with their family, right? Like their own little bubble or what have you. So, the first thing that I want to tell you about Cincinnati is that we're within a day's drive of over 60% of the United States population, right? So, the folks that may actually be ready to travel but aren't ready to fly, those folks will come to Cincinnati, right? The second thing I'm going to tell you about Cincinnati is we ain't no Chicago or New York City, right? But we have everything they have, just smaller, right? So when I tell you something is 2 blocks away in Cincinnati, they're 2 blocks away. They're not 2 miles away. Our blocks are about, I don't know, 100 yards, right? 100 yards. Maybe 100 yards. Maybe not even 100 yards. So we're compact and we're very walkable. Our weather is fairly mild. We're right across the river from Kentucky. Kentucky is the South, right? So our weather is fairly mild. We have this convention center that gets it. They know they know what's happening in the world. And so they have done some really extraordinary things to make sure that your people are safe when they come to our city. Let me tell you about the convention center. Now, we also have some really nice, lovely hotels. We don't have a big box hotel right now. We're working on that. Right now, we have some really nice upper mid-size hotels. We've got a Hilton product that has 600 rooms. We have a Hyatt that has 500 rooms. We have a Westin that has 456 rooms. 456 rooms, 6 suites. Yeah, how do I know that? I used to work there. We have dual branded Hyatt product. All these hotels. We have a Renaissance. We have a this. We have a that. All of these products are within a block and a half, 2 blocks of our convention center. We have Fortune 500 companies here. We have the arts. We have a casino. We have some shopping. And one of the things that you're going to love about us is that we have some really great people. We've got some great people. We've got a lot of diversity. Look at me. We've got sports. Gosh darn it, we're a baseball town. Got football, Major League Soccer,